YouTube, it's your boy Sean Matrai here again with Constellar. And it is here and it is top tier. We went 13-0 all the way into Legend, and we are now Legend 2. Now, I'm not going to go over the deck list too much here because a lot of the cards I already explained in the previous video. What I will explain is the general overview of the deck, the new cards, and basic combos to know. Now, I really think this deck is top tier. I think it's at least tier 2. I think it's better than Live Twin because I think a lot of the plays are stronger than what Live Twin do, at least on the turn 1. And there are ways to win on turn 2 more than I think Live Twin have. With that being said, let's go over the deck list. So first of all, I'm going to briefly discuss the skill again. Constellar Union does 3 things. Basically, it's a stronger Exceed Galaxy. You reveal 1 Constellar, send 2 Constellars from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can do a bunch of different things. So first of all, you having 2 Constellars in your graveyard sets up both your Sombra and your Star Cradle, which I'll talk about these 2 cards. Talk about Cradle in a second. Sombra I really went over in the last video, but you get the idea there. Next, it allows us to normal summon any Constellar with no tribute, regardless of this level. So you just normal summon it to the field for free, just like any Dark Magician skill or the Blue Eye skill. Third effect, you can exceed summon a Constellar regardless of the levels of your monsters. So you can cheat. So essentially, if you have a 4 and a 6, you can smack out a rank 5. If you have a 4 and a 6, throw out a rank 4 or rank 6. If you have a 1 and a 4, throw out a rank 5. It doesn't matter. It cheats out exceed summoning entirely. It's very disgusting. Now, on top of that, unlike our last deck list, we're running 3 copies of Zubin Shmali, 2 copies of Cadeuceus. You only need 2 copies of this. I think if you go 30, you might want to play 3, but 2 is fine. 2 copies of Holox, 3 copies of Sombra, 1 Alshura, and 3 Cradle and 1 Chart. Now, going over the new cards in the deck. So Cadeuceus is the new card on the block. Cadeuceus, or whatever you want to call it, Cadeuceus is very powerful. This card changes the deck entirely. Basically, if you control Constellar, you special this from the hand, and you then get to search a Constellar spell or trap. Now, those both effects are hard ones per turn. Third effect, if it battles a light or a dark, before damage calculation, banish that monster. Now, keep in mind, damage calculation comes after the damage step. So if you swing into Neos Wiseman or you Belterra Incarnate, you will get blown up very sadly. So don't attempt to do that. But if you swing into a Dark Destroyer, Leo Dancer, and keep in mind it's this battle, so if your opponent attacks it, doesn't read Cadeuceus, which will happen a lot. I'm going to mispronounce this card a whole bunch, so bear with me. Cadeuceus or whatever, then they are also going to get banished. Now, the banish effect is not a hard once per turn, meaning that if you have Cadeuceus attached to 2 of your Constellar Exceeds, they will both have the banish protection. So really, really good. Now, also in this deck, Ralph, we're playing Alshura. So basically, because like I said, you can normal summon or set without a tribute. You summon this, special summon Constellar from the hand. Now, this is a lot better than Algetty because Algetty has to be at level 4, but this could just summon anyone, regardless. Now, on top of that, we're running 3 copies of Star Cradle. Now, the downside of this card is it skips your battle phase, but you really don't matter, especially if you go turn 1, because this helps you go full combo, and turn 2, this helps you get Polox in rotation. Now, Polox is really strong going second, in my opinion, because if you summon Polox, then Polox is like Ritual Beast Tamer Elder. So basically, you get the additional normal summon. It's a conditional effect on summon, meaning that your opponent cannot negate it. So if they have a Veiler, cannot negate it. If they have a Warning Point, unless they already have a negate on the field like Plasma. But if they have a Veiler, cannot negate it. Warning Point, cannot negate it. And your opponents will do this a lot in the ladder because they will not know better. And if they do not know, then Polox allows you to get that summon. So they Warning Point it, and then you end up summoning out something like your Zubin Shmali, and then Zubin Shmali gets you an additional search, and you've exceeded through a disruption. If they let it go, then you have the option to make an Omega if they have a ton of back row, and then Omega helps you get through back row as well. Now, they have to hit Omega because Omega will protect all of your Constellar Exceeds. So let's say you make an Omega going second, and then threaten another Exceed. If they let you get to another Exceed, then both your Exceeds are going to be protected, hence you've gotten through back row. So very, very ridiculously strong. Now, also one of my homeboys, Loom, made a video on Constellar. Fantastic YouTuber. Make sure you go follow my boy Loom. He streams on Twitch and YouTube if you haven't already. Duel Links Best Decks. I don't know what you're doing if you haven't. He's fantastic. Now, On top of all of that, we are running 3 Sombra, as I said before. We talked about this. Okay, now I want to go over Start. We already talked about the Star Cradle, and you're saying, but Sean, how am I going to get 2 monsters in the grave? Your skill. Turn 1, you go. Dump 2, and then you have your skill live. Now, the last Constellar card I didn't discuss, new card, is Star Chart. Now, Star Chart, whenever you would exceed summon a Constellar, draw a card once per turn. This is a soft once per turn. This is very important because you can use Pilates, bounce this back to the end, reactivate it, exceed again, either by making Omega initially in the combo, or throwing a Constellar M7 on top of your Omega just if it was a Zodiac. If you played Master Duel TCG, you know all about what Zeus can do. Now, on top of that, we're playing a bunch of techs. 3 Veiler, 3 Book, 2 Chalice, 3 Crackdown. Now, Veiler, Book, and Chalice help us win going second, especially when dealing with floodgate threats like Winda or live twin cards. We can use Veiler and Chalice to help stop their effects. Really, really strong. So this feels like a top tier deck. The extra deck basically hasn't changed except for Presepi, which is a rank 4 that basically once per turn will boost the Constellar by 1,000 in the damage step. Not too much changed here. Okay, now with that being said, I'm going to go over what some of the basic combos are of the deck. Now there are 2 card combos and 1 card combos that you need to know. So if you're going to play this deck, you want to know what exactly goes into the 2 card combos. And there's a lot of different combinations, so bear with me. First of all, if you have Pollux plus Sombra, that is instantly ends on Omega and your rank 5 in a draw 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to summon your Pollux. You're going to reveal your Pollux first to skill dump out your Zubin Shmali and your Alshara. So basically your Stratos and your level 6. So these are going to go to the grave. You're going to normal summon this. Then, with that being said, you're going to dump your Sombra. Next, you activate your Sombra. Banish forth your level 6. Or any other Constellar that you don't want. It doesn't have to be this. You could even send this if you wanted to. Banish this. Add back Zubin Shmali with your Sombra effect. Now, keep in mind, if they activate Veiler on Sombra, then you still can make Pallades because you've already used the skill. Now, something very important to keep in mind. You must activate the skill in order to modulate or to tribute summon. So you have to reveal the dump too. Otherwise, you can't use the second and third effect. Don't misplay it like that. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now, on top of that, we said we had this back. So we have Pollux, Sombra, and now we've added Zach Zubin Shmali. It actually activates Sombra's effect to normal summon Zubin Shmali. Additionally, searching your Cadeuceus. You're going to add Cadeuceus, special summon it, then add your Star Chart. Then what you could do is activate Star Chart. You have to make Pilates. You make Pilates first with any 2 Constellars, then activate Cadeuceus to add Star Chart. Special Cadeuceus and add Star Chart. You have to make Pilates first because otherwise you're going to be locked out of zone. So you make your Pilates first with any 2 of your Constellars, and then special summon the Cadeuceus. Cadeuceus activates, add your Star Chart, you activate Star Chart, then you can make Omega or Presepi, draw a card, then you activate Pallades, bounce the Star Chart, then activate Star Chart again, overlay the Omega or Presepi into an M7, and just like that, you have your draw 2. So that ends on a draw 2, plus M7 and a Pallades on the field. Now, M7 is a threat on its field alone, because if your opponent doesn't out it, then they're going to have to deal with you bouncing one of their face-up cards. Or you adding back any monster from either player's grave to the end on the following turn, which could even be your effect failure if you wanted to recycle it. So that is a play you could make. Now, on top of all of this, we have another combo, and I want to go over one more combo for you, and that's when you open up Pollux plus your Cradle. So basically, if you open up Pollux plus the Cradle, you activate your skill on Pollux, dumping out your Zubin Shmali and your level 6. Very important here. Then you activate your Star Cradle, add back the level 6 in Zubin Shmali. Use Pollux's effect to additionally summon Alshara, Zubin Shmali, activate Zubin Shmali, search the Cadeuceus, make your rank 5 Pallades. Then after that, special summon the Cadeuceus, activate the Cadeuceus, search the Star Cradle, the chart, not the Cradle. Then make either your rank 4s, draw a card, and then bounce back with the Pallades, activate again, make M7, draw another card. So that's a combo where Pollux works with the Cradle. This also works if you open up Zubin Shmali and Cradle, all you would do at that point is you would just dump Pollux in the level 6 because you already have Zubin, Shmali, and Ant. So all this to keep in mind, you have multiple different ways. Even if you open up the level 6 with the Cradle, that also works to get your Cradle live. And this is why I say Cradle is extremely, extremely good. Now, as far as keeping Omega on the field with a draw 2, that requires you to hard open Cadeuceus. So if you already have hard open Cadeuceus and you special summon it, takes a little bit more resources out of the combo. But however, well, not more resources because you would just search for the follow-up anyway. You would special the Cadeuceus and then have that early on for when you have when you make your first Pallades, then you can draw off Pallades and then keep Omega on the field while having a draw 2. So opening up Cadeuceus can be good, and it can also be kind of weaker because you may want to open up a tech card instead of having your Cadeuceus. But still, Cadeuceus could be played at that. Now, what ratios should you be running? Cadeuceus is either a 2 or a 3 of. I think there's an argument for 3 of it, because especially in a higher build, because opening up the Cadeuceus means you can end on Omega, which is better against any deck that wants to run Book Chalice, which is pretty much every deck. Then on top of that, what's also really good too is like if you activate your Omega in the draw phase and you go up against Neo's U-Bell and they summon a U-Bell, then they can't super poly you. So that's also really good. So yeah, there is the argument to play 3 copies of Cadeuceus. Now on top of all that, but if you have less, you're completely fine. Now, on top of all of that, we have that. So overall, really, really good. Now one more question you may ask is that, and this is very important because, this is, some of these are in older boxes. Sean, I don't have 3 Pollux, and I do not have 3 Sombra. I don't have 3 of this, because this has been Infinite Ray, and Pollux is in Infinite Ray. Can I still play Constellar? Yes, you can. You can play with this. Even if you have like 1 of this, you can still kind of get away with it. You would just run Rashalag, as I showed in the previous video, because it can be extra additional copies of Sombra. Remember, we cog with 2. So if you have 2, you're completely fine. Just play a Rashalag over it. You're 100% fine. And then if you have Pollux, then you have less copies of Pollux. And then you play additional copies of Pollux. Yeah. If you have less Pollux, you could play like 1 or 2. I generally want like at least 2. Like 2 Pollux is ideal, but if you could play 1 of it, and then you can even like run another level 6 if you wanted to, as well, to make up for not having like 2 copies of Pollux, which is completely fine as well. So you could alter these numbers. It's not set in stone. Yeah. With that being said, we're gonna get on to a few replays here. I want to keep this video under 20 minutes, so I'll probably show off 3 of them, but. We're at Legend 2, so one more thing before I show up the replays. If you want to watch The Climb, I'll be live at about 7 o'clock tonight, okay? So if you want to watch my Climb the Cog, 7 p.m. EST, New Year's Day stream. If you want to watch the Climb the Cog, make sure you are followed to me on Twitch or subbed on YouTube. I will have that ready to go today, so make sure you are there and to be square. So thank you for everybody who supports the channel. Help us get to 850 and beyond. And yeah, also on Wednesday I will be doing my first tournament stream where I stream to YouTube. You guys can watch my tournament run. I stream it on Twitch all the time, but you will get to watch it on the YouTube side. Now I'm going to hit you up with some music. Until next time, get ready to watch these videos. I don't know what I was doing there. I don't know what I was saying at that last point. Alright. Okay, so that's the video. Again, if you want to see the Climb the Cog, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you guys if you're going to come back 7 p.m. tonight on YouTube and on Twitch. So appreciate that. Take care. Tilt Matrai, signing out. Bye.